Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, bringing you guys my pool week video for last week's books. Uh, just chilling, not in my room today because just didn't feel like being in there. Felt like chilling out here. Nice outside, so got a lot of good light. Didn't want to be cooped up in the room. See, I was watching some Family Guy back there, but I got my books to review. Again from last week's, and I'm really busy all the time, so that's why these reviews are coming out late. But I'm just glad I can get them out. So here they are. I got 6 books to review, and we'll just get started. Uh, First book is before we get started, last things to mention. As usual, if you're new to my video, I review my books from least liked to pick of the week, and the timestamps are below, so you can fast forward to any review that you would like. Getting started. First book is Nova, issue number 15. Whoa, super glare. This book was it was entertaining. It was entertaining, but it was still very standard. Nothing too big happened in the book. Pretty much it was a big fight for the most part, and that's really what it was. Kind of Nova saving everyone on the nowhere celestial head planet thing that they're on, and that's pretty much what happens in this book. And then he does some stuff at school, which I thought was fun, seeing his school stuff. Anything that's more grounded, I love in this book. Those are some of my favorite things about this book. But all in all, this whole book was just, it was a fun read, but still very standard read. That's really it I have to say about that book. The next book we got is Thunderbolts, issue number 23. And this book was cool, but the ending of this really has me like, should I even continue reading this book? And I guess because it's late, I'll do spoilers for some of the books. I'm going to do it for this one, so maybe the time will come up to spoil some of the other books. But for this book, this is spoiler alert. This book is all about, the last mission to get rid of Mercy is done, and so they go back to the hat, pick out names to see whose mission they're going to do next, and Deadpool's name gets picked, and Deadpool's pretty excited and stuff, and then all of a sudden Flash Thompson, Venom, he's like, hey, can we switch? Can we do a mission for me? And they're like, I don't know if it's going to work like that, and Flash is like, well, my mission is for you guys to, like, stop Venom himself. And so that's what this book was. It was pretty much Deadpool accepted the switch, and the mission started right there. This book is just a big fight between the Thunderbolts and Venom. And it's very interesting what they do in this book. By the end of this, it brings the whole team together besides Venom. And what makes me question whether I should continue on with the book is that Venom leaves the Thunderbolts after this issue. So that was my main reason for picking up the book, was to see more Venom, and now he's not in any book. So I don't know. I'll get the next issue, see how I like it, and we'll go on from there. But that was Thunderbolts issue 23. Next book was a book that surprised me a little bit, just because I didn't know what it totally was going to be, what this issue was totally going to be, and but I really enjoyed it. That was Superior Spider-Man, or Superior Foes of Spider-Man, issue number 10. Now, the issue number 9 issue came out the week before this issue. And so I was thinking, maybe I'm just getting like a double whammy of stuff. But this whole issue was different writer, different artist. So it was not Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber. It was other people I've not heard of before. And I can't remember their name. Well, it was multiple artists, actually. And this whole issue, and what really made me like this issue a whole lot was it was just an issue, like a round table issue of Beetle, Overdrive, and Speed Demon in a bar, and kind of just going back and forth, saying what heroes they've gotten the best of, and how they got the best of those heroes was funny because they didn't really get the best of them, but they got the best of them in occasions. And to hear their different stories was pretty cool. Like Overdrive had said he gotten the best over Hercules, and Beetle said she gotten the best of Daredevil, and Speed Demon went last, and he said he gotten the best over a bunch of people like The Thing, the X-Men, and the Avengers, and Hercules, I believe. Yeah, but just that whole dynamic for this book, it really reminded me of that one episode of Batman animated series where everybody is talking about how they almost killed the Batman. And I love that episode, and this really reminded me of that episode. And it was a lot of fun, and the way that it ends is pretty funny as well. Good in between issue. It was really fun. That's really all I have to say about that. Great issue for that. Still not a bad issue on Superior Foes. And next book, we're halfway done with the books. Next book I have is the Superior Spider-Man Annual, issue number 2. And this book was cool because it took, there's 2 stories in this book. Both of them were good. Both of them were at least good. The first story I thought was really good. And then the second story I thought was just, it was good. It got me through. But that first story, the main story of this book, was like a great story. And because it's a Ben Urich story, I love Ben Urich stories. They're always in Daredevil, but this was really good Ben Urich story. And with the Javier Rodriguez artwork, Javier Rodriguez has he's done some Daredevil issues. It really felt like, aesthetically, it felt like a Daredevil book, which made me really happy about it. But this whole story is about Ben pretty much coming to terms with finding out that Phil Urich is the Hobgoblin. Coming to terms with that, and thinking that he can, first of all, upset with himself that he didn't know about it, being this great reporter. He didn't know about it, and then also thinking he could somehow change Phil from being what he is. And there's a lot of great interaction between Ben and Phil in this issue, as with Ben being him and Phil being this new Goblin Knight. And Ben Urich is actually being protected by Phil Urich, by the Goblin Knight, because of their relation. And the things that conspire after or through the issue, just really, really fun. And Ben Urich gets the big realization about something, and I don't want to spoil it because this is a good book. And yeah, so that whole first a whole first part of this issue was really good. It was pretty much Ben Urich coming to terms with what his life is now, the state of his life. Uh, yeah, I don't want to say any more from that because it's just better to read it and be surprised with what you read. Not surprised, but be entertained with what you read. The second part of this was really just Wraith, Captain Watanabe, kind of interfering with the antidote to the Goblin Serum. Well, all that stuff actually kind of happened in. Just got to go back now. I read this book not today, so I got to see how these stories relate to one another. There's actually, maybe there's not two stories. Yeah, there is. There's definitely two stories. Just got to make sure with what I'm reading here. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. I remember what's happening here. So they both kind of relate to one another, but the second one isn't so impactful as the first. The second story is really just kind of some in-between filler from the Ben Urich story with Captain Watanabe. Well, not even in between, it's after. Anyways, Wraith kind of she gets out of her unconsciousness state or her unconscious state and kind of breaks into where Monster, aka Carly Cooper, is being held, and tries to fight her as Carly's like having control over herself just by like a thread, and makes Carly get to the point where she's totally over the edge because she's beating on her the whole time, and it wasn't like anything very special, so I'm not gonna go into full detail, and it's very short, so I'll leave it at that. Predictable as well, entertaining, but not nowhere near what the main story was for this book, and that's why that's the main story is what I'm grading this book on, and that's why I like this book so much. Following that, the next book is Animal Man, issue number 29. Very close to pick of the week, actually, just because it's such a family issue, and I love family issues, especially in Animal Man, because Jeff Lemire does them so well. What we have here is, well, first of all, people were right. This doesn't completely wrap up everything in Animal Man. We don't see the aftermath of, what Buddy has to do with the Skywalker, I believe was the creature's name from the moon or whatever, saying that Buddy had to be the avatar for, all those realms, the red, the green, and the rot, and he accepted, and we don't see the aftermath of that, but what we see is a good aftermath of what happened with the red and all of that stuff. So for me, this is a good wrap up because I'm not going to continue on to Justice League United. I don't need to continue with that. This is a good family wrap up for me with Animal Man, and it's all about it's a wrap up of the whole thing, and kind of a retelling, a fast retelling through the eyes of Maxine as she's telling a bedtime story to Buddy, and it's really nice how it all works out. She explains pretty much Rot World. She explains Cliff's death, and she explains where they're at now and how, things are going to be different with them and how they're going to be more of a family. And it's just a really good recap of everything that's happened and just what we can expect. out of, this relationship, and really coming to terms, with Cliff's death, and that he is gone and there's no getting him back. And the way this ends was just really nice, and a really nice way to close out this book. So I'll leave it at that. Animal Man issue number 29. Really great book. And then finally, my pick of the week, just because, I don't know, maybe, this book is just great. Daredevil issue number 1 or 37, if you wanted to continue it from the other run. But this book is just awesome. This is, it puts Matt in San Francisco in a very unique way. It kind of jumps into a mission that he's doing, or a case that he's working, trying to save the police, I think it was commissioner or mayoral deputy or something. I forgot her title, but her daughter was kidnapped, and they have Daredevil, Matt Murdock, on the case. And just the way he handles this whole ordeal that he's dealing with, as he and Kirsten McDuffie, who is helping him, like, navigate California, navigate San Francisco, because it's not like New York, and that is addressed a lot, and it's used for great suspense and great, even comedy, but just great action, and has a great high speed movement to this book, and the stakes are high right off the bat, and just the things that conspire in this book really set this book up for another great arc that is going to be happening for Mark Waid again. And I'm really looking forward, especially with the end of this book. Things are a little bit weird with how the way this book ended, and I'm excited to see what happens with all of that and what's going on with, Foggy and stuff, because all that kind of stuff relates. And so Daredevil issue number 1 has me super pumped up for the rest of this. Not that I wasn't pumped up just because it's a Daredevil book, but so that's it, guys. Long review, long video, but I had to get it out to you guys before the new books come out tomorrow, and I'll have a haul for those books tomorrow or Thursday. And that's it. So I'm Wellington signing off for the Comic Book Lowdown. I'll see you guys next time.